Well, good morning. I'm Marion LaSalle, my co-hosts Russ Johns and Ted Lyman. And today we're talking about hobby versus talent. This is the Tools, Technology, and Teamwork Talk Show where we talk about all kinds of interesting information about business development, processes, you name it. If it has something to do with business, we want to talk about it. And today, I got to choose this topic, hobby versus talent. And Ted and Russ, will you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves, please?
Absolutely. So start with me. I'm Ted Lyman. I am an entrepreneur. I have 4 companies that I'm running at the moment. The one that I am I'm being involved a lot right now is the Office in America. And that is office services. And our vision is to bring possibilities to your business. So when you have a chance, check us out at officeinamerica.com.
And I will put that right here in the sidebar. There we go.
Thank you so much, Ted. I'm Russ Johns. You can find me at russjohns.com on Twitter and on the interwebs. I'm a fun-loving criminal who hangs out with Marion LaSalle, and we pull shenanigans like this show every week. And we just love to work with business owners like Ted and investigate a little bit about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and some of these interesting topics that we talk about are really bringing out some of the things we don't necessarily talk about in business every day, Ted. So, what can you kind of define for us? What is hobby versus talent? When you say that statement, when you shared that statement with us, what was your intent?
Sure, absolutely. Well, hobby basically is an activity that you enjoy doing, and most competitors. Sorry, I lost my track. So I'm going to start again. So hobby versus talent. What is hobby? Hobby is something that you enjoy doing. Period. That's what hobby is. Now, talent is something that you are good in doing. So those are the big differences. Something you like doing and something you're good in doing.
Yeah.
Can you do both?
Some people can. Some people can. Some people can't. And in majority, actually, people can't. And a quote from Confucius is, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. I mean, we all have heard that, and which is great. It's an excellent word of wisdom for people to actually pursue. However, the reality is the study is as such. So you're talking about Michael Jordan, for example. He loves basketball. And he was able to carry that throughout his career, and he made a fortune out of it.
He also did a lot of practice too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, the 10,000 hour thing you're talking about, becoming an expert in something?
Yeah. Well, I just realized, Michael Jordan is a phenomenal basketball player, and he also liked baseball. And so it's like, but he spent a lot of hours practicing, right?
Yeah, that's right. And what is the biggest personality training in the world? It slips my mind. But and the book actually is like number one selling book in New York seller list, like every week. It's is it called like Finding Your Strength or something like that?
Strength Finders?
Strength Finders, yeah. Which
Strength Finders 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, I went to that training one day, and the trainer stumped us. He said, there's a difference between talent and hobby. And he said, and really, he really did not want to mention a lot about hobby, but what he said is that talent is something that you have to have. And everybody just raise their hands and they say, you can't say that. That's not true. Everybody can learn it. And he said, okay, I'll give you an example. So let's pick Tiger Woods. he said, "Why do you guys think Tiger Woods are doing really well?" And everybody said, "Well, he practiced a lot. I mean, there's no other way around it. He practiced a lot. He learned a lot." And then later on, the trainer said, "Do you think with the same amount of hours and training, you can be as good as him?" And that to me, and I mean, Asians are known as a group of people who like singing, who like doing karaoke. So I grew up with it. My family, we go to karaoke places when I was young, and until this day, I still make the conclusion that we were not born to have a good vocal cord. So no matter how long, no matter how many hours we put in there, I mean, we'll never be like Beyonce or Jay-Z or something like that.
So there's an element of passion. However, the equal amount of talent didn't exist. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. That is correct. Yes.
So,
go ahead.
So I just wanted to expand this. So what you're saying is even though there's a lot of practice and a lot of passion and everything going into it, there still has to be an element of talent involved in some of the things. Like Michael Jordan you brought up. I'm never going to be an NBA basketball player, and there's a lot of people that will never ever be a basketball player of that caliber, even if they were to practice every single day.
Yes.
So there's still a natural talent that has to exist.
Yeah, that is correct. That's absolutely right. And a very good example is, a friend of mine. We were just talking about how he was trying to convince me to play golf, and I told him, I tried many years, I still can't do it right. And he said, "You probably have not practiced hard enough or correct." And what I told him is this, let's take a real example. If my son was to take karate and your son was to take karate, and my friend, we're Asian and my friend is Caucasian. And I told him, if our children go to karate school both at the same time, my child will actually pick up karate much faster than your child can. Because in our generation, I was in karate, my dad was in martial art, my grandpa was in martial art. So it's in our blood. And
there's been exposure there.
Exactly. It's been exposed in there, and it's genetically in there. It's almost like a talent to us.
So as you're going through this, that was, I'm not sure what that is.
Is everything okay in Marion's side?
I don't know. Marion, are you okay?
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yes. I'm sorry. As you could probably hear, that was my house alarm. We're good. We're good.
We were worried about you.
Now I want to ask, is that a talent or is that a hobby?
That is not talent. Goodness.
Only on ground. Only on ground. Can you do this? Yeah.
I apologize for that. We have a dog walker.
Oh, and they came in at the at just the wrong time to set them.
That leads me to, you should have Office in America so you don't have to work from home, right?
Yeah. Talking about that, actually, we have a fire drill later on today at 10 o'clock. So it's it's going to sound the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right? So it doesn't matter if you work from home or you're at the office.
Sometimes you have the fire drill already.
That's right.
So.
We just did not know that, Marion, that you follow OSHA that strictly. We didn't know that. So.
Yes, exactly. Yes. We had our fire drill early today. Oh.
Yeah. So it's amazing to think how this evolves, hobby versus talent. So what else can we share today with our audience that is going to be, make an impact on, why does it matter, hobby versus talent? I know so many people that, I grew up thinking, and my dad, always told me that, same thing as Confucius. Find something you love to do, Russ, and you never have to work. You'll enjoy it. You spend so much time working in your life. You have to enjoy it. I don't care what you do as long as you enjoy it. That's what's more important than anything. And that really boils down to, we can become proficient at something, and if you don't have some interest in it or some level of skill in it, it's really, it's like, salmon swimming upstream. It's not an easy thing to do, right?
Right. That's true. Yeah. And the reason why I brought up this topic right here is actually to help out some people and find some balance in their lives. And what I meant by that, I just read this one book called One Click. What it is more about how Amazon came about. And they mention a lot how Jeff Bezos started Amazon.com. And what many people don't know is his passion, really, since he was a little child. You're talking about like hobby, what he really wants to do is talking about outer space. He's trying to get people into the outer space. So in the year 2000, that's when he founded Blue Origin. And that there actually is his real passion, really, is a rocket ship company that allows a rocket to be reusable, launch it, and actually land it again safely. So,
and they've done that. Pardon? And they actually did that too. So
yeah, that's right, and they did that. So what people what I want people to understand from this message right here is that there is a difference between the hobby and the talent, and what it is, don't confuse to the fact that you must actually get your hobby going. And as a matter of fact, what's really good is your talent is like no one else's. Use that in your career, find the money that you need for you to live comfortably. And as a matter of fact, one day, eventually, you'll save enough money to finance your hobby. And that's what a lot of people do. And that's actually why a lot of successful people, millionaires, billionaires, have their own time of getting away and do something else during the weekends and the holidays. You see, so it's not really their hobby, what they're doing, but they know that is the talent that they can use and share to others, to where they also get a return.
So if I hear you correctly, there's a lot of people that create wealth to benefit their passion of doing their hobbies.
That is correct. Yes.
Say that again, Russ.
Well, there are a lot of people that create wealth. They go to work at a job that they can earn money at. It doesn't matter if they're talented or it's their hobby, or they can earn a living at. And then it's not necessarily their passion; it's more an income. And then they use their wealth to allow themselves to do their hobby. A lot of people, I'll give you a perfect example. A friend of mine, he was an executive in a company, and his passion was hunting. I mean, he had a cabin up in the hills, and he would take these 3-week hunting trips and just get out of the office and fishing, anything to do outdoors. He was born in the wrong century. He would have been the one that was, blazing the trails out in the middle of nowhere doing, hunting and fishing all day. And, he was good at business, and he made a lot of money at it. However, that wasn't his passion. That wasn't his hobby. That wasn't, he was talented enough to earn money at it. However, it wasn't his hobby. So is that a good analogy, Ted?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And even John Maxwell, who is like the top leadership coach in the world, he also taught that, do not confuse hobby with talent. And when they confuse that, that's when I think people struggle a lot in their monetary point of view in life.
Yeah.
It's because they try to actually use the hobby to really make it out of a career. So
Well, we're taught that. As a matter of fact, Russ said that earlier. He was told by his father, find something you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. So
Yeah.
how do you figure that out? Who can help you figure that out?
Yeah.
Do I have enough talent to make this my job? I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can I make money at it? I mean,
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the big thing.
And a lot of times we can't see it. And one of the best ways to find out about this is make a list. Make a list of your hobbies. Make a list. Right? And then write down like 5 hobbies and 5 talents. Right? And write it down in there. Now, that's your point of view. That's where we can be biased. Where we can say like, oh yeah, I'm actually really good at singing. I'm really good at driving car. I'm really good at listening to music and criticize it. But
right.
If I use that very examples for me, for example, go to car racing school or record my own CD and sell it out there and sit down and be a movie critic or something like that, I highly doubt that I'm going to be able to sell those subjects out of my life. Whereas my management, and to me, it's just very natural. My father put me to supervise people in the shop when I was in 5th grade. And to me, it was just natural. I could see like these people are not doing it efficiently. They're not doing productively. And I can see how a lot of jobs are out there, but a lot of people are sitting down there. So I have to assign people, okay, you work on that, you work on that. I mean, to me, it was very natural since I was little. Now, I realized that when I was in 5th grade, right? So when I started working on my own here in the United States versus in my home country in Indonesia, I did not work for my dad right here. I started working in places like campus and talking about food industries. And I cannot just force whatever I
You don't
want.
automatically go to the top as you walk in the door.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I can't just force it. So what I have to do is actually, although it would be nice if I can just go in there and talk about cars and talk about movies and talk about music. But the fact is, I can't walk to any studio and be better than anybody else doing music director or talking about car engineering or talking about movie writing. I mean, I won't be able to do that. But
Right.
with the management, I was able to do it slowly, little by little. And today, for example, I mean, I have a good share of car collection, you can say, and I enjoy that. But I would have never made it if I actually just forced my hobby into my career since the get-go.
Right. So Marion asked a great question in the group here. How do we know if we have enough talent to make a living at it? I mean, that's a tough question. I mean,
yeah, that's a great question, and the people around you can help you regarding this question. After you make your list of hobby and talent, go around to your closest friends and closest family and ask them, hey, I'm trying to find myself here. Help me out. I want to know what is my hobby and what is my talent. And they'll be able to tell what you are really good in doing and what you are actually just enjoy doing. They'll be able to help you with that. And once you collect all those from several friends and families, vote which one that actually being picked over and over by your friends on the talent, I guess, but on the hobby, you can keep on adding hobby to it. But on the talent, your friend will be able to tell you that, Russ, you're very good at this, and Marianne, you're very good at this. And once you get the approval from all these people right here, the endorsements that you're very good at this, that's your card. That's your That's your wild card right there for you to hold, right. For you to actually know this is exactly what I'm good in doing. And now, if some of us, like the 3 of us, we are lucky enough to say, our talent actually is very valuable, and people see it, and people are actually approaching us and say, hey, can you consult me in that? Hey, can you train me on that? Hey, can you do that? And in exchange, we want you to really be our coach, our professors, and then there is an exchange of talent versus monetary value.
It's an interesting thing. Like I'm getting echo back for some reason.
It's gone now.
Like the karaoke example, Ted.
Yeah.
If people leave the room when you start singing, that's an indicator, right?
That's an indicator of a hobby.
If they're not going to come in the room to pay money to have you sing, that's an indicator that it's a hobby.
That's
it doesn't
right.
mean that you need to stop doing it. It doesn't mean that you need to stop loving it. It just means that you need to earn money in another way to generate the income to live life, to allow your hobby to continue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you mentioned cars. You love cars. You love everything about cars. You love racing. You watch races, everything like that. In order for you to compete, though, you probably had to, much like the top level drivers, they started out young. They practiced like Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. They were in a car very early, and they were racing every weekend, and they've had a lot of experience. Everybody around them is a driver. A lot of these drivers have, just like your family, when you're talking about martial arts, everybody around you has the DNA to support that skill, right?
Right.
So your
exactly.
exposure in your environment has a contributing factor to that, and how that pulls together in who you become.
Right.
And that's fascinating because I grew up in construction and I ended up being a musician. However, I built homes because of my exposure to my construction background in my family. I can do a lot of different things. So it's my exposure to a lot of different things has allowed me to be versatile in my life and have a lot of different passions. So
yeah. And actually, I like to mention something that Marianne has mentioned earlier is that people like a good example like Michael Jordan. He was good at basketball, but at golf he was kind of okay. I mean, he's tried that. Johnny Depp. I mean, who would have thought Johnny Depp actually was a singer? That's how he met Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage say, this guy actually can play in a movie. Put him to work as an actor. And Will Smith. He's a great comedian, and Will actually, like a lot of great actors, he likes to put out messages in front of his audience. And unfortunately, whenever he does that to any of his movies are not doing well. Talking about what is it? Is it called 7 pounds or something like that? I mean, it's a message of kindness, but that movie did not do well. I mean, just an example, and.
yeah.
A great example that everybody can relate to is our aunt. Our aunt. I mean, it can be a super admin, but her super nachos might not be able to to give her enough reasons to open up a restaurant.
Right.
Yeah, and it's okay for actually people to realize that there is a difference between hobby and talent. And what's great about talent is free and it's already within you. All you got to do really is to nourish it. Let it actually take you to places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, weird. You're getting feedback there.
Yeah,
Me
it's interesting.
Huh. Interesting. Ted sounds fine.
Yeah, I'm stable.
Well,
Actually. I didn't hear any.
thank goodness.
Well, we've
Oh,
always
you
known
did it? Okay.
We've always known you to
So-
be the stable one in the group.
So I'm very interested in hearing a little bit more clarity around, I have this desire to do something. Why can't I make it a living, even if I'm not talented in it? Can I hire somebody else who's got the talent and really live my dream?
Yeah. Well,
Can you give us an example?
yeah. Go ahead,
Sure.
Russ. You
No, I
Go
just
ahead and
wanted. I was thinking of an example of that.
Okay.
Like,
So I love, say, playing pickleball. I love, really having sports as something that I could do, all the time. However, I'm not good enough to make it a living. I mean, how would anybody make a living playing pickleball, right? No one's going to pay me to play. But couldn't I find a way to have maybe a business where I could rent out space to people who want to come in and pay me to play pickleball?
Yeah, well,
just
think of a tennis coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, any sport that exists has infrastructure around that sport, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like being a producer for music. If I can't sing, I could produce music.
Right.
It's the same with art, right? Like if I'm not a good enough artist for people to pay me, or a singer,
gallery.
I could have an art gallery, or I could be, a producer of music. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way where people don't have to go to work at a job they hate in order to pay for having a hobby.
Yeah.
Just my thought process, because I like to be happy all the time.
It's true. And actually, it's a matter of choices at the end of the day. If you find where you are, I mean, you guys keep on going at it. This message here is not to discourage you from, I'm talking to whoever is watching this show right here. It's not to discourage you of revealing that, you have to focus on your talent only and forget your hobby, put it in the closet. That's not what it is. What it is actually is to help entrepreneurs and most of us understand that if what we've been doing have not been giving us the return that we expect, we might want to analyze that. So now, if you feel you're okay where you are and you've been getting the return that you put in your workplace, then let it be. But the reason why I want to put this out is because with me in my younger days, I confused hobby versus talent. I love audio, and one time I had an audio business, did not do well at all, and I ended up having a lot of subwoofers in my house and power amplifiers, and I don't know what to do with it. I can't even put it in my car. There's too many of them.
We learn something
that's when
every time we talk to Ted, don't we?
Yes, yeah. I love it.
I love that.
So that's when I realized, it's like, okay, that's a hobby. And right now, come to think of it, I mean, with the talent that has supported me in all that I do, it's way much easier for me to finance my hobby. I mean, right now, at any time, I can go to Best Buy and ask them, install a couple of subwoofers in my car. I mean, that works out too. But, this adjustment right here just might be the stepping stone that you need to take off to the next level. And again, this message here is to help you guys to get where you need to be. If you feel great where you are, more power to you, and more blessings to you. You'll do great. If not, this message is for everybody else.
Well, and you mentioned Strength Finders 2.0. It's been second version now, and Tom Rath, the author. I was actually listening to him on a podcast the other day, and a lot of people don't know this, but he was diagnosed with a terminal illness at a young age, and this whole philosophy, Ted, of finding your strength, finding your passion early as possible is really key to Marion's point, is finding that strength and kind of meshing it with your passion and your interest and where you can actually earn income is really important, because he said he only had a limited time on this planet. Life was very short. So he wanted to make sure that people made a difference in their life and got as quickly as possible to the point where they were happy with what they were doing, with what they knew they were born to do, and they could love, live, and prosper as a result of this action. So
Right.
That was a fascinating podcast, and I wish I could remember where I heard that. So,
Yeah.
but it's true. If you're one of the fortunate people that know exactly what you want to do and what you're going to earn money from and how you're going to survive life. It's really, life is a very rich experience as a result of that. So,
yeah, you're absolutely right, and I agree. And that very book, Strength Finder, that is actually a teaching where if you open the cover, it tells you hobby versus talent.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Where you're.
Well, I found this topic to be very interesting to me because I think a lot of people do struggle with it. They struggle with trying to be happy and working and family and playing and trying to play golf anytime they it is a struggle. And so I think your strategy of making a list of the talents and hobbies that you have,
I love
list
that.
5, and then asking everyone that knows you, what do you think? I think that's a good place to start about trying to figure it out, because it is something we need to figure out fast before we become an adult and get locked into something, right? I mean, isn't that what we all want to do, is to make sure we make the right choices when we're young so we don't regret later.
Well, yeah, and I guess you're never too old to change your mind, right?
That's what they say. You're never too old. Well, I don't know.
Colonel Sanderson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, well, it's been a fantastic show today, Ted, and as always, you're on top of things and you're really versed in all things business, and we really appreciate you being here and all the things that you do to contribute to what we're doing in Office in America. It's fantastic to have a place where we can go, sit down, work, focus on on whatever projects we're working on. And Mary and I really do appreciate what you do and you bring to the table. So thank you for being in our lives and being on the show today. So
thank you, absolutely. And same thing with you guys. Kudos to both of you, Russ and Marianne. And I encourage you guys, if you have not really taken a look at Full Service Technology in its entirety, visit their websites. Go approach Russ and Marianne. They're very approachable. Call them, talk to them, and see how they can be involved in your talent improvement. And I know actually these are the right people that you can approach to do that. This guy on top and this lady in the quadrant right there.
All right.
Love it.
Well, thanks. We'll see you again this same time, this same place. What do they say? Same bat channel.
Same bat channel, same bat station.
That's right. Next Thursday.
Next Tuesday.
I'm sorry.
9:30 Central Time.
See how I am?
If you change it, let me know at least.
Is today Tuesday? Okay.
Today is Tuesday. Well, when you love what you do, every day's the same, right?
That's right. I don't know if it's Friday, Sunday. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just having a good time.
As long as you tell me what to do, right?
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, thank
See
you,
you later.
everyone. We're going to conclude, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Same
All right.
bat channel, same bat time.